the lapis lazuli is really the underdog of the gemstone world. It's really a fascinating story in itself, because in the past, if you go back thousands of years ago to the ancient civilization, if you look at the ancient Egyptians, you will definitely see from the monuments, from the sphinxes, from the pyramids, that it is inevitable that they were perhaps the most powerful and the most wealthiest kingdom in ancient civilization. So at that point in time, they really placed a lot of importance and reverence to this stone lapis. When you look at how wealthy they were, do you actually think that the pharaohs will not be able to afford sapphire? Obviously not, simply because at that point in time, gemstones such as sapphires, emeralds, rubies have not been discovered. So that's exactly why they placed so much importance on this stone and revered it as a precious stone. Because apart from gold, if you look at the stone carefully, it actually has some sort of gold flecks on it. So they would have definitely associated lapis being in the same family as gold. So if you look at King Tutankhamun's sarcophagus, it's entirely made up of gold, and that blue substance is actually lapis. And as well as within the walls of the pyramid, you can see that it's entirely made up of gold as well as lapis. If you also think about the ancient Egyptians' fascination with the afterlife, obviously they have an obsession with it, otherwise they wouldn't have spent almost half of their life preparing for it by building the pyramids and by making sure that everything that they need for the afterlife is also brought into the pyramids with them. So that's exactly why I think that they have placed so much importance and understanding with the stone of lapis, because if you look at it closely, the good quality lapis and the older pieces of lapis, meaning to say it's thousands and thousands of years ago, is actually deeper and darker in color, representing the night sky. So it's almost like a deep blue night sky color, and then you have got the gold flecks representing the stars in the sky. So if you look at it, and especially a good quality lapis, you will be drawn to it. Some customers still come to me, and there was one time a businessman came to me and he wanted to start a new business entity, and I did a reading of his Western zodiac as well as his Chinese animal sign. I discovered that the stone lapis, it was very much suitable for him, and he was taken aback. I still remember his reaction. His reaction was, lapis? It is such a cheap stone. So he said, can I get sapphire instead, since it's blue in color as well? I said no. Sapphire is not for businessmen. Here is the reason why. At that point in time, I also had sapphire with me. If I was a mercenary person, I would definitely sell the sapphire to him. Why would I want to miss a chance to sell something more expensive to him? The reason why is because this is exactly why when you are buying or purchasing gemstones, you need to know at least a little bit about the background of gemstones. Otherwise, you will be setting yourself up for trouble, because every single gemstone has got an energy or a chi to it. That is exactly why Queen Elizabeth has placed in the crown jewels a stone that had belonged to King Henry VIII, which is the red spinel, which all along people thought was a ruby, and a pearl, a baroque pearl that had belonged to Queen Elizabeth I. Why? Because she wants to borrow from the chi and the energy of these stones, and obviously the provenance of it being attached to those monarchs who were super successful among all the monarchs. So even in the Western world, they believe in the energy of the stones, and that is exactly why the crown jewels has got so many different gemstones to it. But in this video, because we are concentrating on lapis, why I say that he as a businessman cannot buy the sapphire is because sapphire represents purity. It was worn by the bishops in the past because it represented the color blue, which was attributed to Mother Mary because she's always been seen wearing the blue gown. So if you are a businessman and you are wearing sapphire, you are setting yourself up into trouble, because I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I've seen a businessman, when he started wearing sapphire, yes, he was quite wealthy. He set it with diamonds, and then as soon as he acquired that sapphire, every single of his business entity failed. And I never dare to tell him it's because of the sapphire, because I'm not close to that person. If my advice is unsolicited, I will not give it, because they will think, who am I to tell them? So that is exactly why you need to know a little bit about gemstones before you purchase them. I myself have been guilty of not being so attracted to this stone because it's not that popular and it's not that pricey. But if you look at a selection of some of these gemstones, from the jewelry being auctioned off by Sotheby's, to Van Cleef and Arpels, to Lapiz being used in beautiful timepieces by Gucci and other watchmakers, you can see that even gemstones and jewelers of the highest end incorporates Lapiz into their masterpieces, but also is obviously because of the setting and the other gemstone, it's really exquisite. So Lapiz is really suited for those who are in the night industry, because as I mentioned, Lapiz represents the night sky. So if you are in the F&B business, in the dining business, this is the stone for you to have. Whether you are a businessman or whether you're working in that line, or those in the hotel industry, this is also very good for you. Or those in the casino industry, this is also super good for you. Why? As I mentioned, the dark blue represents the night sky. So Lapiz actually helps you to open up your mind chakra so that you can think more clearly and sharply for your business, how to improve it, how to make your business better. And then the gold flecks represents money coming in. So this stone is really good for you. I'm starting off with this very simple flowy white blouse. This is a very modern setting, so I wanted to showcase also in my collection how Lapiz is being set by different people. This is set in the US. You can see the string with a very art deco feel to it, and it's got the gold edgings, and that is exactly why I've chosen to wear my gold earrings to accentuate the gold in the necklace. And this is a very modern setting in very modern cut. The stone itself is exquisite because it's in a very dark deep blue color, and you can see the gold flecks really very clearly. Some Lapiz actually doesn't even have any gold flecks at all. They may be a very clear Lapiz, or some has sort of like a silverish flecks in it. So it depends on your aesthetics. As I mentioned, in those for those in the hotel, dining, casino industry, but it's also very good for someone who is very volatile and hot-tempered, because this one actually calms you down. The difference between the gemstones, for example, if you are wearing smoky quartz to the office, it's actually deflecting bad energy or bad chi coming to you, as in the form of office politics. For instance, jade is supposed to be very protective, but Lapiz actually helps you to think more clearly, especially those who are with very bad temper or very volatile. It actually helps you to calm down so that you can think more clearly, because as you know, when people lose their tempers, they cannot think clearly, they cannot make decisions clearly. So this is the stone for you. So I hope that you stay with me till the end, and also to showcase this very fascinating stone. Just imagine that in those days it was so revered by the pharaohs, and it was worn by them, as important to them as it would have been for jade for the Chinese emperors. So if you believe in the energy of the gemstone, that gemstone is going to work for you. But if you think, oh, this is just a rubbish, then obviously it's not going to do anything for you. If you are enjoying this video, please take this moment to consider subscribing to my channel. My channel cannot grow without your help. Every single subscription means the world to me, so that YouTube will be more aware of my channel. I hope that you will be able to make that difference for my channel, and also so that I can have the pleasure of your company for my upcoming videos. So let's get on with the next one. Good quality Lapiz always comes in a much more deeper, darker color, and then the good quality Lapiz always has got some gold flecks in it. Starting with this first one, which is a very casual look. It's semi jeans plus cotton. It looks very cool and collected, and it accentuates the Lapiz perfectly because it's got a v-neck, and the Lapiz color actually reflects the color of the jeans. I worn it together with my pearl studs to bring out the color of the white. I'm not wearing any bangle whatsoever because I think the gemstone itself is already statement enough, so it gives off a more flamboyant edge to your casual weekend wear. For this last pendant, I've changed to a much more simpler and elegant style of a Lapiz pendant, so that those of you who feel that the first two pendants are a little bit too flamboyant to be worn to the office, I think this is the perfect choice to wear. You've seen how the setting is so different for each of the Lapiz. For the first one, it is in Indian setting, and for the second one, it's set by a Westerner. So you can see also how it has evolved over time. This Lapiz does not have gold flecks in it. It has more sort of like a cobalt blue color to it instead of a midnight sky kind of a blue color to it. So this is much more a younger Lapiz, so to speak. I set out wanting to find an infinity pendant in the form of a jade, and I ended up with this one because I feel it's really unique. I've never seen an infinity sign in the form of a Lapiz. And for those who have not started and who are thinking of starting a jewelry collection, I think this is really a good stepping stone for you to start your own jewelry collection, because as I mentioned, it's very affordable, and then the sky is the limit the other way around if you want the more fancier pieces. Over time, I've become more fascinated by it, and especially because if you think about it, wow, it's been worn by pharaohs thousands of years ago. Just imagining you are buying into that myth, into that legend. Gemstone will always be fascinating. You will never get tired of it. Apart from the beauty and aesthetics of the gemstone, the story behind it and the role of the gemstone and what it does for you is the icing on the cake. So if you love jewelry, you want to know more about pearls, about jade, I've done a few videos on them. Feel free to check them out, as I'm going to be linking them towards the end of the video. I hope to be able to see you again for my upcoming videos, and I hope that you will see Lapiz in a different light. I think it's really been the dark horse of the gemstone world, and I hope that I have enlightened you in a different way in this video. So goodbye, and I'll see you again.